Hi there, and welcome to the Skylight Books Author Reading Series. You can find out about this and all of our other author events at skylightbooks.com, where you can also browse our inventory as well as order books online. You can also follow us on Twitter or even be our friend at Facebook. If you would like to talk to a real person, we can be reached at 323-660-1175. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
We're very happy to have Tao Lin here. His work has been published in many different languages. He wrote the novella Shoplifting From American Apparel, the story collection Bed, and the poetry collections Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, and You Are a Little Bit Happier Than I Am. We're very happy to have him here. Please welcome Tao Lin.
Hi, thanks for coming. I'm going to read from the beginning of Richard Yates. I've only had the opportunity to hold a hamster once, said Dakota Fanning on Gmail chat. Its paws were so tiny, I think I cried a little. I saw a hamster eating its baby, said Haley Jo Osmond. I wanted to give it a high five, but it didn't know what a high five is. I would eat my babies if I had some. I don't have any babies. How old are you? Said Haley Jo Osmond. 16. It's probably good I don't have babies. You are not 16. You are like 25. No, I am 16, said Dakota Fanning. I drew a hamster on a pink piece of paper today. Then I threw it on top of a recycling bin full of paper. So whenever anybody recycles paper, the hamster will look at them and be cute for them. Haley Jo Osmond said that was cute. Dakota Fanning said in real life she didn't make any faces. She just let her muscles make what they make naturally. And everyday people said, "You look sad, stop it. You don't have the right to be sad. I'm sad. My parents are divorced. Say something funny." Haley Jo Osmond said he felt good when he made a sad face. My mom saw a package from you and asked if you were a creep, said Dakota Fanning on Gmail chat about a week later. I said you were not a creep. I said you were a graduate of New York University. Haley Jo Osmond said the only purpose of going to New York University was so Dakota Fanning could now tell her mother he was not a creep but a graduate of New York University. Dakota Fanning said she was going on a field trip to a museum in Manhattan in November, and Haley Jo Osmond could find her then and sit by her and they could eat together. That sounds good, said Haley Jo Osmond. November is so far away, he said. A few weeks later, they talked on the phone for about 3 hours. Dakota Fanning said she worked at McDonald's and walked on a bridge and gave a homeless man $20 and told the homeless man she hated her job and walked home and tried to juggle things for 15 minutes. Haley Jo Osmond was lying in the dark on his air mattress in a 3-person apartment on Wall Street. His room had no windows. He said he was walking today and noticed he was thinking, "Life is stupid. I am stupid." But it was one sentence, not two. Dakota Fanning said that was okay. She said she had a broken violin she was saving because she wanted to smash it, but she always said, "No, not yet." When they had nothing to say, they were quiet and then said hi to each other around 40 times. The next day, Haley Jo Osmond stood outside the membership library on 76th Street, where he worked 25 hours a week and felt sunlight on his face and ate a salad. It was April 25. Haley Jo Osmond was 22. After work, he rode the 6th train to New York University's Bob's Library and sat in front of a computer. He wasn't a student anymore, but someone had made a mistake and given him access until 2011. It was 2006. Haley Jo Osmond talked to Dakota Fanning on Gmail chat. He went to his apartment. He lay on his air mattress. He read a short story about a severely depressed woman in rural Illinois. He woke around 2 p.m. and showered and put on clothes. He walked into the kitchen listening to music from his iPod through earphones. He was alone in an apartment. He stared at the common room. He once watched a Korean movie with his suite mate in the common room. In the movie, a cop accidentally jump-kicked another cop. The movie was about a serial killer. I feel bored of life, thought Haley Jo Osmond. Or wait, I don't know. Never mind. He went to Whole Foods and put avocado sushi and coconut water and a container of fruit in his duffel bag and walked to Karen's and bought organic iced coffee and walked to Bob's Library. I'm not sure if you should come Friday, said Dakota Fanning on Gmail chat. My mom is going to think you're going to rape me or something. Your mom, said Haley Drosman. I told her you're an autistic vegan, and she said, autistic vegans can still rape people. I told her I felt insulted by that comment. I don't want to see her. Said Haley Drosman, and thought about how he already said more than 15 times that he was afraid of Dakota Fanning's mother. Haley, he said. I don't think she knows how old you are, said Dakota Fanning. The majority of my friends are your age, and she doesn't care. I think she thinks you're like 35 or something. Why does she think I'll rape you, said Haley Drosman. She thinks everyone on the internet is out to rape everybody. What should I do, said Haley Drosman. You should rape me out of spite, said Dakota Fanning. I fed eggplant to Aladdin today, she said about her dog. Why don't you want me to go over, said Haley Drosman. I'm angry. I want you to, said Dakota Fanning. I'm just afraid. Just come. You delayed me too much. I'm tired. I feel like I already went. Just come, please. I will make a papoose, said Dakota Fanning. I have eggplant and blueberries. Are you okay with sleeping in a field? We might have to sleep in a field. Okay, said Haley Drosman. Why? So we don't get attacked by my mom. I just Googled papoose and found this. Dakota Fanning sent a link to an image of an amorphous gray sack. Is that you? Said Haley Drosman. I feel pain. I have a migraine. Will you come Friday when you aren't so sick? I'm afraid the field will make you sicker. Am I really coming? Said Haley Drosman. I'm quickly losing interest. Soon we won't talk anymore. Life is terrible. Come tomorrow, said Dakota Fanning. No, you're right, said Haley Drosman. I'm too sick. Can I come Friday? Yes, I can't remember if I have the SATs Saturday morning or Sunday morning. I think I have them Saturday. It is Saturday. I just looked. Why are we always fucked? We are fucked. Look at that typo, said Dakota Fanning, about fucked being spelled as F-U-C-K-E-X-C. That is how fucked we are. My brother is missing. The lady who electrocutes us just called. She can't find him. He never came home. Once a week, Dakota Fanning, Dakota Fanning's brother, Dakota Fanning's mother went separately to a 3-story house where, for purposes of lowering depression and anxiety levels, someone named Charlene put radio waves through receptors to make them look like brain waves, and then directed those waves at areas in their brains where there are too many alpha, beta, or delta waves. The procedure was called biofeedback. Dakota Fanning was nervous because it began in the 80s, and the long-term effects were unknown. And also she was afraid about never being sad, because when she was happy she was annoying and ran around like a child with ADHD and started sentences and didn't finish them. He might have killed himself, said Haley Drosman. Life is terrible. He gets tired a lot, said Dakota Fanning. He might have driven his car off the road and died. He is always tired. You aren't visiting me, said Haley Drosman. I am, said Dakota Fanning. You are, when you are. Soon, said Dakota Fanning. Soon. Soon, said Dakota Fanning. It will never happen, said Haley Drosman. I'm giving up on life, even more. Wait, I already did. Even more I am. It will happen, said Dakota Fanning. Something is wrong with me, said Haley Drosman. I'm going. They each said good night. Haley Drosman stared at the computer screen. He rode the N train to his apartment. He looked at for sale flyers on a bulletin board in the laundry room. He stood in an elevator. He boiled organic angel hair pasta and carried a bowl of it to his room and sat on the floor with organic tomato sauce, olive oil, black pepper. I fear social interaction, he thought while eating. Probably more than anyone I know. More than so many people. Seems surreal, like it's not really true. Talking to Dakota seems surreal because of her level of creativity, maybe. It seems fun. I like talking to her. I like her writing. He walked to the kitchen, picked up a container of organic flax seeds, walked to his room, put organic flax seeds on his pasta. That's all I'll read. And now there's a Q&A session. Raise your hand and I'll point at you.
Can you talk about how these characters came to be?
Yeah. It's just based on my life.
Start writing
I wrote little poem type things in high school that were more like song lyrics. And then in college I took a creative writing class, and I started writing more then. And I started writing as much as I do now, probably as a sophomore in college. Just pretty much every day. If I'm working really hard on a book, I'll just work on it the entire day, like 8 to 12 hours or something. If I'm not working that hard on it, just like 2 to 5 hours or something.
Yeah, what is the symbolism, or what is the meaning of the dolphins and the bears and
To me, there's no symbolism in those things. They're just like, if I was standing with a friend by a river, I might be like, what if a dolphin came out and killed you? And that would be, I would feel like that was funny. It wouldn't symbolize something else though. And that's how I view the dolphins in that book. Just saying.
Did you have like a different major before you said?
No, I didn't choose my major till the last moment, and I just chose journalism because it's the only one I could get at that point. But a major is 8 credits where I went, and I had 8 in journalism, like 7 in psychology, and I had taken like 12 creative writing courses, but there's no creative writing major, so I chose journalism.
Is Dakota Fanning
I don't want to answer that because I don't know if I haven't like sat down with her and said like, what if someone asked something? Or I'm stopping right there.
so are you making it in writing? Is that what you're doing for a living?
Yeah. I've had jobs up until August of 2008. And then I did this thing where I sold shares of the royalties to this book. And I made $12,000 from that. So that's when I quit my job. And then since then, I've gotten $12,800 from someone who just gave me the money to do whatever I wanted. And then I borrowed $5,000 from someone. So I'm not really making it as a writer. I'm just... Yeah.
But you had, if I'm not mistaken, I think I just read a review in the New York Times review.
Yeah.
So that means something in the writing world, career-wise.
Yeah.
Is it looking good or what?
Yeah, I think that will help with like foreign sales, which is where I make most of my money. So I think in a few years I'll be able to have enough money from writing.
Do you have a lot more ideas and stuff that you want to create?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll come back to poetry?
Yeah. I have like 100 poems that aren't collected in a book.
Or are you planning on doing
No. It just seemed interesting, I think.
I'm Kelly Ginger from Iron. I just wanted to check out
I don't... Oh, maybe. No, I don't... Or maybe. You probably affected it a little. Nice to see you. So...
Is there any books you read that you liked specifically, or any
I liked Portrait of an Addict as a Young Artist. I think that's what it's called. By Bill Clegg. I liked Electro Boy by Andy something. Andy Berman, maybe. Those two. Someone had a question over here or something. You can raise your hand again. I haven't been in it with a therapist, but I've read books about it, and it seems interesting. It seems like it works, or something that could work. I think its main thing is that thoughts cause feelings. So if you feel bad, you can just think things, and you'll feel differently. So it stresses that you're in control.
The publisher, the books are being published, but how did you get involved with them? Are they local to where you are?
The main guy had a blog called Moby Lives. In around 2005, I had started a blog, and he had linked to me a few times. And he read on my blog that I had a story collection. And then I sent it to him, and he wanted to publish it.
And what, like an indie press? I don't know if you know.
Yeah, they're an indie press. They have like 6 employees and then the 2 main people. They're based in Brooklyn. They do hardcovers.
Anticipate any of your stuff will come out?
I don't know. I think part of their reasoning to put mine all in paperback was that a lot of my fans are young people with no money, and hardcovers wouldn't sell as well, I think.
How's the tour coming along?
Fine. I just got here from Portland. I like Portland. 15 or 20 or so. Yeah. I've toured with the other things. Not as many dates though.
Question over here.
Did you always know you wanted to be like?
No.
How did you come about that path?
Just the first creative writing class I took in college, the professor was encouraging of me, and I liked doing it.
Was the blog just for fun, or was that your...
The blog I started it when I graduated college, and I was reading all the literary blogs then, and I was just thinking about literature all the time, so I just started to just be involved, I guess.
Who are you most inspired by?
I don't know. It changes. But usually it's like a friend or something like that.
As far as writing?
Yeah.
What's the most depressing, not all the depressing, but you've read?
Can you hear?
Maybe. He said, what's the most depressing book out of the depressing books I've read? Maybe The Easter Parade by Richard Yates or Good Morning Midnight by Jean Rees. Or some short stories by Lori Moore, maybe.
Is that like being on your reading horizon?
Big on my reading horizon?
Is that one of the major categories of your favorites?
Yeah, yeah. When I say depressing, though, I'm saying it from, like, someone else's perspective. I don't feel depressed when I read them, and I think they're all funny. I just feel excited and good when I read them. But most people would say they're depressing books.
It's because it's not happening for you.
No, because if I'm really depressed, that's when I feel the best reading those books. if I'm happy, I'll still enjoy reading them, but not as much as if I'm really depressed. It's because I feel like I felt that depressed that I like them, in part. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Speaking as a novelist, we're obviously here to learn more about Richard Yates. But describe how Richard Yates is the same thematically and artistically as some of the other books you wrote, and describe how it's completely different.
I would say thematically it's the same because it's focused on existential issues, such as limited time, death, consciousness, and having to choose in an arbitrary universe. So that's how it's the same with most of my work. How is it different? It's different because I feel like this book has a plot and that it's a page turner. My other books aren't like that. Like my first novel, it went backwards in time, then it went forward in time. It wasn't a page turner in a conventional sense. Those are the main things.
Question over here?
Yes, so do you ever go back and publish work and think, which I wrote
No. I might think like I would write it differently now, but I don't think I wish I had done it differently. Someone over here had a question.
I didn't have my hand raised, but I will. Did you know where the story was going when you started writing it, or did you write from an outline, or did you let it develop and how did you decide where to end it? The ending seems very appropriate, but just wondering how you're writing about that.
The overall structure I already knew since it's autobiographical, but the ending, I worked on it for 4 years, and after like a year and a half, I had the general structure, and it was the same length as it is now. And then after that point, I just kept trying out different endings, I guess. Like I had probably 10 or 20,000 more words after where it ends now. And then within that, I would just see where a good place to end would be. I have other things, but in the end stages of the book, I'll just focus on that one book. A few reasons, I think. The main reason is because a lot of things in this book are mentioned like 2 to 5 times in a way that if you see it the second time, you might not remember what was going on with that thing before. But I was conscious of having that information be different than the first mention in a way that I thought would be interesting. So if someone wants to find out every mention of violin, they can look at that. Or every mention of Richard Yates or something. And I wish a lot of books that I like had indexes, so I could do stuff like that.
So the reason you chose that is like having to index, like, good.
talking about like neutral facial expression. I didn't think anyone would want to look at every mention of neutral facial expression. It just seemed like something funny to include, I think. I think people will be interested to see all the different kinds of facial expressions, and it has that.
So, as a writer of physical books, paper books, and also blogger, still blogging?
Yeah, but on the blog I just post links usually. I don't blog like today I something, whatever.
So, what do you think of the current incursion of like ebooks as opposed to traditional books? Where do you think that's going to go, and how perhaps has it affected you in your envisioning where you're going to go with your writing?
I don't think it's affected my writing, and I don't think it will affect my writing. I don't know anyone who owns an e-reader, but it seems fine. Just seems like a number of people will like those, and then other people like physical books.
Well, with your index, it just struck me as kind of like, at least what you said about it would be like the hypertext concept.
Like you click it and it would go right to it. You could do that. Yeah, but some people will like that, just to click it, and some people will like going to find it. They both they offer different things, and people will want both things, I think.
You said you got praise from your first professor. Did you feel like, as you were writing that piece, or whatever he praised you on, at the time, did you feel like you were like, this is good, I know it, or were you nervous handing it in?
I wasn't nervous handing it in. Usually when people tell me in writing classes, when they say something's good, it's usually what I don't like about it.
Being told?
No, if they praise something, it's usually the thing that is like most normal about the piece, but I don't like that part the most.
Do you write for a specific audience, or you just write and whoever likes it will like it, or do you have some for a specific audience?
I just try to write what I want to read. And then that's naturally going to have an audience, I think. Probably 95% of the time is spent editing.
You get frustrated when you read comments, like certain reviews, where it's like obvious that what you're trying to do is like escaping their understanding or something of how you're trying to write, or do you just not care what goes through your mind with all that stuff?
I honestly don't feel affected at all anymore. I just read it and note it that that person thinks that.
Did you used to care?
I would be affected, but over time I'm less affected by anything.
It doesn't change anything about what you're going to write next, or what you're writing next.
It probably has
It's writing for yourself.
Yeah, it probably has a tiny percentage, but I try to resist that. Like, I don't think it's possible for the world to have 0% effect on me, but it's very small, I think.
Can we talk a little bit more about the New York Times review? I realize you don't like book reviewers. just to show of hands, who's read the New York Times Sunday Review on Tao? Okay, so you're getting some resonance there. Also, I talked about it over the weekend, and it occurred to me that the reviewer didn't get you. He tried to evaluate the work, based on just kind of reviewing the book, but it reminded me of what in the 19th century the London book critics did when Joyce came out with Dubliners. They just didn't get it. How do you think book reviewers who exercise a lot of power, how are they going to get you?
Just by people I know who are my age now getting older and taking those jobs. I think that's... I think the New York Times probably viewed the reviewer, he was born in 1969, I think, or, yeah, 69. They viewed him as like the hip writer to review me, just like the young writer who would get me or something. I don't think age had anything to do with him not liking it that much, because he said that it would have more dramatic power if Dakota Fanning's mother or brother and father had confronted Haley Joel Osment with a baseball bat. And then later he said when Dakota Fanning went to the train tracks, it would have been something if a train had actually come and killed her or something. So he just wanted like a more plot, or not plot, but just more violent, dramatic book.
Something 19th century. You got to see the 21st century.
But still, I don't think it's a matter of century. He just wanted a different book. Yeah, I'm rewriting it for him. Just coming out next month. All right, any more questions?
You were talking about writing for yourself. Do you see writing as a form of communication, or do you really write purely for your own entertainment?
I view it the same as communication, the same as talking to someone. So when I say I'm trying to write what I want to read, it's just like saying, if I'm talking to someone, I want to say what I'm thinking instead of being polite or making small talk about something I don't care about. Ideally, I would want to only talk to people where I can feel comfortable just saying exactly what I think. So that's what I mean when I say I want to write what I want to read.
Have you ever had hamsters?
Yeah, when I was small.
But you don't have one right now?
No, I don't care about hamsters, about owning one. They're just funny, they're just shaped funny, and they seem to have neutral facial expressions all the time. But I don't care about owning one or anything like that. All right, last chance for questions.
I think the world is real. So real.
Just depends on your definition of real and world. And I guess is. Sorry. All right, thank you for coming. I'll sign the books that you buy.
What I'll do is I'll move this all out of the way.
You've been listening to the Skylight Books author reading series. Don't forget that you can check out this and all of our other great podcasts at www.skylightbooks.com. Today's music was provided by Fragile Gang. You can check them out at MySpace, Facebook, and the iTunes Music Store. Thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you soon.